I made $113,921.91 with high ticket sales in 90 days, but I used to close 3 out of every 100 calls that I got on. And I remember thinking to myself, maybe this isn't for me. Maybe I should go back to comfort. But I took that same 3% closing rate into what you just saw. So in this video, I'm gonna break down exactly what high ticket sales is, how I found a legit offer, what the job actually looks like, and the exact 90-day timeline for you to get started. And by the end of this, you'll know exactly how to copy and paste it, even if you've never sold a single thing in your life. So without further ado, let's jump in. So number one is, what even is high ticket sales? So the motto is simple. You don't need any product, any audience, any capital initially to be able to get started. You are simply the sales rep having conversations on the behalf of an influencer and selling their package. And then when you do, you get a commission. Simple stuff, right? So for very simple terms, let's say there is a fitness influencer who has a program that's $5,000 for 6 months, helping people get in shape. And they have a big following and people are constantly booking calls. Let's say they're booking 50 calls a week. Obviously, they can't take 50 calls a week because they need to run a business. They need to be able to help these people actually lose weight. So what do? They hire a closer. You are the closer, you get 10%. You get $500 per sale. It's like the easiest way to explain it. It's a win-win here because you make $500 without having to fulfill, and then the influencer makes $4,500 without having to take a call. Everybody wins. So now that you have a baseline understanding of high ticket sales, now the question is, how do you find a legitimate offer so you don't go selling some bullshit? Your offer determines your ceiling before you even say a word. I could have been the best closer in the world, but if I was on a shit offer, I would make no money. You see, one of the biggest misconceptions that people have in high ticket sales is that if I'm not making money, it's because I'm a shit closer. Now, don't get me wrong. There's definitely truth that, you probably are kind of shit, but you're also probably selling on a shit offer. Shit skill set plus shit offer means no money. But here's the truth, guys, is most businesses don't need sales reps. Most businesses have weak lead flow. They have terrible lead quality. They have terrible fulfillment. Like, they're just shit businesses in general. And so they think that a closer is going to come and save their business. And they'll say shit like, I need a savage closer. What they're saying is, I need someone to come in here and save my business. But once you know how to read a company, how to read a room, how to break down an offer, you're not going to have to worry about selling for shit companies. This is exactly how I do it. Okay, number one is that OTE doesn't mean shit. I could tell you there's a 20K, 30K OTE. Don't be fooled by vanity ass numbers, vanity metrics like that. The truth is in the cash collected. How much cash has this business actually done? Because if an offer tells you that you're going to make 20K a month, but then the cash collected in the last month is 60K or 100K, unless they're going to pay you 20%, 25% commission, which is like 10% is the standard. So if they're paying you that, like, I'd be fucking concerned, because why are you paying 20%? Again, if they're actually going to pay you that, it's a sign of A, they're probably scamming people and not fulfilling because your business probably can't handle that. 2, they probably are expecting you to come save their company, but no one's paying 20% anyway. And so with that said, if their cash collected is that low, but then they're saying you're going to make 20 grand a month, then that's fucking unrealistic unless you come in and triple their business. The next thing is the number of closers, right? Because you need to be able to take the number of closers and divide it by the cash collected to find out how much the average rep is making. So let's say a company says again that you're going to make 20 grand a month, and then you find out that they are doing 100K in cash collected and there's 3 closers. What does that tell you? 100 divided by 3, 33K per closer. That means the average person on that team is making 3K, but you're somehow going to come in and 7x that. So some big red flags to look for here is evasive answers when you ask about company revenue, when you ask about the amount of closers, when you ask about how many people are on the team, poor retention of sales reps, they're churning and burning through reps, weak systems, maybe they don't even have a CRM, maybe they don't have a script in place for you, and their expectations of what you're going to earn are based off projections, not real numbers. Green flags to be able to look for is reps have stayed there for a long time. Somebody's been on that team for at least 6 months, unless it's a newer offer. The math actually checks out based on cash collected, the commission structure, and the amount of closers. There's actually somebody making the money that they say that you're gonna make, and they're transparent again in telling you all of this. Run the math, guys. Realistically, for a beginner offer, you should be able to make anywhere from 6 to like 15K a month starting. Like, the potential should be there if you have a 30% close rate. Now, what I just walked you through is my real vetting process, and I learned all of this by getting burned on the wrong offers. And that's the exact reason I started coaching closers directly, so people don't have to learn through the trial and error that I did. And I'm still doing this daily. So if you want me to walk you through how to be able to find the right offer and have the skill set to be able to last on the offer and make the money that you want to make, hit the link in the description to book a call with either me or my team. We'll put together a custom game plan for you. Let's keep going. Once you're in the right offer, you don't want to get the wrong impression of what the job actually looks like. That can be like making 40 grand a month and having a Rolex can be the reality, but not after taking 2 calls a day, and definitely not after 90 90 days. If you want to make real money doing this, you have to take it more seriously than that. And that's why people end up quitting and getting burned out and getting chewed up and spit out on these offers, because they had the wrong expectations walking in. It's not passive income. It's very active income. You're showing up, you're taking sales calls, you're doing follow-up, you're doing pre-call, you're actually taking calls, you're updating the CRM, you're moving leads forward. You have more location freedom, yes, and you have more leverage over your time because of the fact that you can make $500 to $1,000 in 1 hour, but it's not passive. You don't just like fucking sit around, right? Your income is tied to volume, offer quality, and close rate. Because without a good close rate, real income is never going to show up. Because like I told you earlier, I was closing 3 out of 100 deals. So how did I take my close rate from 3% to 35-40? It wasn't just because of getting on the right offer and structuring my day. It's because I was intentional about improving my skill set. I invested into mentorship. I had mentors who were much better than me reviewing my calls and telling me where I fucked up, learning the psychology behind sales, behind why people make decisions, how to be able to pitch in a structured way that makes the prospect feel safe, handling limiting beliefs. Closing is about understanding humans and how humans form decisions. The most important skill set you can have on a call is the ability to hear language that leads to objections and being able to stop those objections in their tracks while still remaining neutral and not making the prospect feel sold to. But anyone with all this information would still take a lot longer than 90 days to make as much as I did, as much as I talked about earlier. Now, most people who get into high ticket sales take like a year to a year and a half, like 18 months to actually see results. And I told you a 3-month time span, but what I didn't tell you is it actually took me 10 months to hit my first 10K month versus over 100 grand in 3. Not because I got lucky or outworked everyone, it's because I had the right framework in place. So if you want to save months or even years of your time, like my client Deborah, who literally hit 10K a month in her very first month as a closer, listen to this 90-day roadmap I'm going to give you to be able to speed up the entire process. So step number 1 is to get clear on what you actually want to sell with a clean personal brand, and then land on an offer. After you get on an offer, learn the offer, study the systems, and get a couple reps role playing, and then actually take live calls. Like I could tell you all day long the best frameworks. Guys, you need to actually take live calls and expect almost no income. And then days 31 to 60 is when you're going to actually start to get your feet up under you, and you should be making a few grand a month at this point. But comparison becomes the real threat. But by days 60 to 90, that's when real pattern recognition starts to kick in, can start to become a reality for closers that stick with it. So in order to get a role, target sales managers, agency owners, offer owners who are actually scaling. Review every call, ask for feedback constantly, and treat loss as information, not just like fucking beating yourself up for failure. And it's simple as it sounds, that in itself is going to save you months and months of your time making the same mistakes that I did. And that's the exact system and framework that I used to make over $113,921.91 in 90 days. So it's that simple, right? Find the right offer, learn the skills, and start closing deals. So if you want me by your side to help you get all of this in place, hit the link in the description to book a call with either me or my team. We'll help put together a custom roadmap for you. As always, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.